Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jerry Sansing with another edition of What's Going On in Corpus Christi. My producer is Janelle Bennett, and it's December the 10th, 2017. My air times are Tuesday for this show on Channel 10, the public access Tuesday at 8:30 p.m., and then again 9 o'clock Wednesday. My email address is at the bottom. I get some very interesting emails. Y'all keep it up. I think we're getting some of this information out. And I'll be right back in just a second with you. Anyway, y'all keep emailing me. Let me know what's going on. Okay, I'm back for a second here. I think that taxpayers need to associate there with Jiminy Cricket and get all over the Pinocchios around here, especially these bureaucrats and elected officials and so forth and so on, and some of those people over there that are administrators at Del Mar College, and wag your finger at them. Let's get to the truth, and that's what I'm going to speak to this evening. Anyway, just thought you'd enjoy this one. I'm tired of the Pinocchios around here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to turn the lights on here and let it adjust while I'm on the way around. I guess they're not going to come on, so we'll just see what happens without them. I think there's enough light here. Must have blown a fuse or something. Anyway, hope there's enough light on this situation to take care of things. I can still see. But anyway, the flowers are dedicated to my mom, Miss Connie, and to my wife, who's now passed, Miss Lynn, and to my good friend, a beautiful woman, Miss April 23. Now I was asked by, I gave you the times for the show. Okay, I think it's Tuesday at 8:30, Wednesday at 9 p.m. And this is what's going on in Corpus Christi, Texas. I am the president of the Corpus Christi Taxpayers Association, and I was asked by a friend of mine who owns some property around town, rental property, and he said that he had a house of his out in Flower Bluff that was contracted and that it was due to go ahead and be occupied by someone. I think the man was military, a military family. And there is a person around here, I think he's a local attorney, that is running for office, I think for one of the district courts. He's going to sign up for that. But anyway, that attorney told this guy that, hey, you know, there was a break-in of the neighborhood over there, so you shouldn't go ahead and commit to renting that house. Now that throws a very productive person here that owns real estate, rental property and so forth. That's his business. He pays a lot of taxes around here to this insane city and Del Mar College and the county and so forth. So I think that was in very poor taste. Now I'm not going to give you the attorney's name, but he's one that's going to be running for a district court around here, I understand. And if he'd like to call me and explain what was going on, I'd be more than happy to do that. Okay. So anyway, that's a tragedy. Now, a problem I've got, and it's shot through the whole entire Taxpayers Association, folks, is the fact that Del Mar College keeps throwing your money down the sewer. Now, I'd also say the city's pretty adept at that too. They're pretty accomplished with all of that. So we'll see what happens in the long run, and so forth and so on. I travel to and from my house. I live out towards the island off of Ocean Drive, but that's the quickest way for me to get into town and go to Del Mar College to teach those fine students that I've got over there. And the whole straight's falling apart, especially between airline and out to the island. There are potholes over there that jar my car. I'm going to go ahead and find out who the insurance company is for the city and go ahead and have my front end aligned and see if my tires are still in good shape. But I don't know what to tell you to do. You know, I mean, this deferred maintenance in this town is just abominable. It's a real tragedy that they bleed you to death with taxes and you don't get anything, and the same thing's happening, unfortunately, at Del Mar College, and I'm just about ready to let you know about that. Okay? Now, a very good friend of mine, colleague, and fellow faculty member was locked out of his office back in 2012 because the attorneys over there said to. Now he was he was one heck of a fine Army colonel. Okay, he was Airborne Ranger Special Forces in Vietnam and spent a lifetime. And his father was also a very highly decorated Army person, so he grew up in an Army family, as I did. And he was probably one of the best, most educated and highly professional faculty members I've ever known anywhere. And he was also the chair of the Social Sciences Department. He's a PhD historian. And under that they have psychology, sociology, government, history, and social sciences. And I mean, it's a very diverse department, and he ran that very, very well. I think most of his faculty members, really appreciated the fine job he did with his military background, and he knew how to run things. Okay, he's a professional. Now, when they locked him out, I guess the president said when I went over there with him the day he was locked out, the president said he didn't know about it until 30 minutes before that. And I don't think he gave the orders. I think it was attorneys at the time over there that did that. Okay. Now, I didn't know that attorneys were going to run the college. Okay, that scares the hell out of me if you really want to know the truth, because normally I can tell when a politician is, and most of them are attorneys, are lying to me. You just watch until their lips start moving. Okay. So anyway, all right. So my main problem these days with Del Mar College, I'm just going to single in with them. I've got a lot of issues with the city too, and non-ADA compliance and so forth. But where do we get these people? But what we've got is I've got a lot of problems with Del Mar College and how much this is going to cost me. I'm very seriously, and I think there's going to be a party in pandemonium when I say this, and somebody over there at Del Mar College watches this, which they do religiously. Okay, so hi Claudia and Augie and the rest of you over there that watch to see if I'm going to trip up over here. Fat chance. Okay, all right. Now, the man's name was Dr. Bruce Olson. Okay, now he filed lawsuits, and they negotiated a possible retirement plan for him. He's agreed to do that in mediation, and then they changed the contract on him, and it was not what they had agreed to in mediation, so he said, I'm not signing that. Well, that's led to some real problems over there, okay? Now, just recently, within the last couple of weeks, the case that was filed back in 2012 finally went to court after he had been told by the 13th Court of Appeals that he was still employed, and the Texas Supreme Court said he was still employed, go back to court. And just recently, a jury came in and awarded him a very high amount of money. Okay? Now, that's only one of 5 lawsuits that he's got against the city. And then we have this great Nobel Prize winning attorney over there, Mr. Rivera, and he's going to go ahead and tempt the hand of fate and spend another $300 and some odd thousand, which is they've already spent to appeal this case again, because the jury said that he did not negate and go against that the agreement that they made, the settlement, but that Del Mar College did first. And then they say, well, Dr. Olson may have done that secondarily. But that still does not cover the fact that Dr. Olson is going to walk away. They awarded him the judgment from the jury, 6-man jury. 5 of them agreed with this. Was about $644,000, and I'm not mentioning the over $300,000 that Del Mar spent to fight that case. Now, what they're going to say is, and I'll read the documents in a little bit, that the insurance company is going to pay that. Who pays the premiums? And I'm filing a Public Information Act request to find out how much our premiums have gone up since the initial lawsuit that Dr. Olson filed against Del Mar College back in 2012. I'm going to get to the bottom of it, folks, and they can go ahead and screw around with me and say that, write letters and ask for opinions from the Attorney General's office. That's where they spend some more money with this group, Graves, Daughtry, Heron and Moody, I think it is, out of Austin, 400 and something bucks an hour. Okay, and then we've got the new construction, which is $296 million of building that will be fully depreciated at a rate of $6 million per year. And when it's going to be fully depreciated is in the year 2070. Okay. Now I'm going to try to be around then to see if it does that. I doubt very seriously that I'm going to make it to 120 years old or whatever. But you're being encumbered big time just by the egos over there, the board members and the administration. They think that that's the thing to do, to build a campus that will never fill up. We've been flatlined with enrollment at Del Mar College for at least the last 20 years. I mean, flatliner, folks. Okay, so that's another thing that I'm doing. With this depreciation of $6 million a year, 2070 is when we're going to go ahead and get our full depreciation back for all this Southside campus and all this building on East and West now. And that's only $296 million. If we $139 million was the first installment over there for the for the Southside campus. Okay. And we're building new facilities on East Campus and West Campus, and we can't support that. There are no numbers statistically, scientifically, and I'm sorry, I'm just a poor dumb PhD scientist. I have taken statistics and differential equations, calculus, and all that good stuff. But I can't add 2 and 2 and get 4, and I don't understand this modern Del Mar College math, which is just incredible. Okay? All right. Now, the interest payment on the bonds to finance these buildings between 10 and 12 million per year until 2045. That's how long it's going to take us to pay those bonds off. That's as they exist now. That's not to finish out another $300 million, possibly, for the Southside campus to complete it. Okay, we've only made the first of 3 installments, and that was $139 million that you find folks out there were blindly led into approving. Okay, I'm not going to say anything more about you, but wake up. Okay, don't let somebody just go and schmooze you over there. And who's making the money on that? It's all the buddies and cohorts and and contractors and friends and so forth of like the president of the Del Mar College Board of Regents, who's a vice president of one of the big banks around here. I mean, it's enough to make you want to vomit, folks. Okay, just pay attention. Why don't you listen to people that know what the hell's going on? And I think I do. I don't know everything. I'm not a CPA, but I've got a good buddy that is, and he said that that's terrible. And then we had the president of the Board of Regents saying he's the only CPA on that board, which was not the truth. He's a former CPA, and I don't think he can read a financial statement. I know our person over there in charge of business and finance is inept. Okay, the additional repayment of this debt that will be added to the interest expense in the debt service ad valorem tax rate over the 25 years of the bonds. Okay? Okay. With the historically stagnant enrollment, and it has been flatliner for 20 years, are we going to increase ad valorem taxes by 40% to pay for the expansion? How much additional operating costs will be incurred with this expansion in addition to paying for the buildings and the debt? We can't afford it, folks. You had it stuck right straight up your nose, and it's a tragedy. Now it's projected here, and these are Del Mar College numbers. As we sit right now, our rate. We started out with the debt per student of about, let's see, it was bottomed out in 2013, 2014 at about $10,000, a little over $10,000 a piece, up through 2015. Then all of a sudden we jumped to $20,274 per student in 2016, and then it's projected in 2017 just below that at $19,140. That's the debt per student calculated full-time equivalent enrollment. So we've encumbered our students at just under $20,000 per student, and those are the ones that are full-timers, and then we've got a bunch of part-timers over there. So it's crazy, folks. Okay. Then what we've got is with the lockout of Dr. Olson for helping faculty that were being bullied. Okay, I try to jump in there too. I'm not going to be bullied. You guys can go suck a raw egg if you want to. Okay, but his judgment was about $644,000. Not to mention the $300,000 that we spent plus. Okay, to fight the case. And now we're going to go ahead and pay for another appeal. We've already lost the appeal. We, meaning Del Mar College. I'm not going to say we. That was Dr. Augustin Rivera and this crazy person with the insurance company. The man's a lunatic. Okay, sue me. Yeah. All right. Who pays premiums for that? I do. Okay. And who sees the students' fees go up? Taxes go up. And for what? Just to cover people's butts over there? I don't think so. Now, in this statement that's going to be coming up in 2 days, okay, on Tuesday, the 12th of December, there's another Board of Regents meeting of Del Mar College Board of Regents, okay? It says pending lawsuits and claims. Now, since they lost that lawsuit, they have to go ahead and publicize this. But it's buried on page 80 of the meeting notes and so forth. It was 280 something pages, I think, enough to choke a horse. My granddad used to put it a little bit more succinctly than that. He said that's enough to choke a buzzard off a gut wagon. Okay. All right. Pending lawsuits and claims. I'm going to read this. This is out in the public, folks. This will be presented in the Del Mar College. It says notes to the financial statements for the year ending August 31st. Now they have to publish this because they lost that lawsuit. Okay. Oops. Okay. The college has an ongoing lawsuit filed by a former employee related to a state settlement agreement reached in January 2012. Okay. The matter went to trial on October 30th, 2017. On November 2nd, 2017, the jury returned a verdict that stated that both the college and the plaintiffs had breached the settlement agreement, but the college breached first. Okay? The jury also found that the plaintiff had sustained damages in the amount of $544,000 and attorney's fees in the amount of $120,000. So that's about $664,000 right there, folks. Okay, these amounts would be offset by a $180,000 payment paid under original settlement agreement. The judge in the case has not entered a judgment against the college. Management contends that the plaintiff's claims in this case are without legal or factual merit, and that the college will be able to defend this action on appeal. So we're going to spend another $330,000 over there at Del Mar College to have that in-house counsel and all of his buddies coming in from Austin at $400 an hour to go over there and try to defend it again. The 13th Court of Appeals already rendered a verdict. Okay, their opinion was Bruce Olson's still employed by Del Mar College, and that the college had breached the contract. Then part of that $330,000, the college goes and appeals that to the Texas Supreme Court, gets their ears pinned back one more time, and the 13th Court of Appeals says, we agree with the 13th, he's still employed. And now they're going to challenge those again in those same courts. And then Dr. Olson has 4 other real strong cases filed against Del Mar College. How much is that going to cost us, folks? So call your regent and tell them they better settle with Dr. Olson muy pronto before we really are in bad shape financially. We can't afford that, folks. Okay? The students don't need it. Taxpayers don't need it. Dr. Escamilla went up $5 a credit hour in tuition. and he still can't break even. Then they were preaching that, oh, we're going to have a 5% increase in enrollment for the fall. It was down 4%. And they said, oh, well, it was because of the hurricane, which is absolute bovine excrement, folks. That didn't happen. We're going to find out this spring. I've never seen such spring numbers this early in the registration game, this low. I mean, it's going to be a bloodbath, folks. And you are the taxpayers out there that are going to have to pay the freight for all these screw-ups over here. So what I suggest is, let's see what happens in January with the another decrease in enrollment, and let's start seriously thinking about a course of action, like no confidence votes. I've done that before with administrators and so forth and so on. Okay, and then you can't do anything because they keep trying to sink Mr. Guy Watts over there. He's been on the board a year longer than I've been working at Del Mar College, and they won't get off of his back. He's got freedom of speech. I don't agree with Mr. Watts on everything, but I agree that with my background back to the Revolutionary War on both sides of my family, folks, and consequently fought every war since then, I believe in the freedom of speech. I've had a lot of my ancestors die and go to war for that for many, many years. So he has a freedom of speech, ladies and gentlemen. He has the right to freedom of speech. Okay. Now, at August 31st, 2017, various lawsuits and claims involving Del Mar College were pending. Lawsuits, period, plural. I'm going to find out what the others are. And claims involving Del Mar College were pending. I mean, why can't we just go ahead and do the right thing at Del Mar College, at that administration, and not have these in-house counsel, or what are they, general counsel they call it over there, stirring it up? I've seen him in court before, and folks, I am not impressed. Okay, not in the least. While the ultimate liability with respect to litigation asserted against the college cannot be reasonably estimated at this time, this liability, to the extent not provided for by insurance or otherwise, is not likely to have a material effect on Del Mar College. Well, who pays the premiums, folks? Okay. You mean the insurance? I'm going to go for and ask for the insurance policy. How much have insurance premiums increased since Olson's lockout? Okay. Who pays the premiums? Taxpayers do. So you need to be on the phone and all over these clowns and clownettes over there. Okay. Now, another thing that is on this same page, which really burned my fanny up, my wife passed away in 2012. She was a faculty member at Del Mar College, a professor, associate professor. And I sat there and heard the person in charge of the HR department, okay, human resources and so forth. Now she's a vice president, I think, okay, and I don't think she knows what she's up to half the time. Okay, that's my personal opinion. Sue me, okay. Now, it took a woman who's lost her husband, okay, a long time to convince the college that the sick leave and so forth and so on, what do they call, vacation time and so forth, should be compensated for. So they've got this thing in here. The college grants sick leave to regular full-time employees and to regular part-time employees who work 20 or more hours per week, and full-time term employees whose term is for 1 semester or longer. Sick leave, which can be accumulated and earned up to so many things and so forth, okay, they need to compensate you. Now, this vice president of the I don't know, administration and all the rest of this stuff, they, every time they want to give somebody a raise, they won't give any Del Mar College faculty members and the employees a raise. They just go ahead and change their title and say, well, that's worth more money. That's the way they get around it. Thank you, administrators and the Board of Regents, particularly Mr. Trey McCampbell. Okay? Now, so you have to go over there and demand that. I heard that woman say, that's the HR person, in a public forum at a faculty council meeting that we don't have to inform you about that. If someone is deceased, their family members have to come and ask us to go ahead and reimburse that. We don't have to tell them. Now, how heartless is that, folks? Now, that's what I had to do. Okay, I pursued that and found out that and it was a sizable amount that they owed my wife, and I went for it. Okay, and they finally coughed it up. But what in the hell kind of people do we have? What is the moral barometer over there when they say they don't have to tell you that you've got benefits coming? That's heartless, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely, completely heartless. And they're screwing you around big time. Okay, I'm down to about 4 minutes. Okay, now we have, in this Board of Regents meeting will be over. It's set for December 12th. That's 2 days from now on a Tuesday. But I just want to let you know that they're going to go into closed session, consultation with legal counsel regarding pending or contemplated litigation or claims, including cause number so-and-so and so-and-so, Bruce Olson versus Del Mar College and other pending matters, or a settlement offer and the seeking of legal advice from counsel on pending contemplated legal matters or claims. They're going to go and they're going to try to appeal this again, folks. Okay? And then we've got another item over there that just burns my fanny up. And it says, number 7, discussion and possible action related to proposed board letter to Regent Watts addressing ethical and legal concerns related to recent emails. Mr. Augustin Rivera Jr. He's the general counsel over there. He's the one that I don't think he could legally work his way out of a wet paper sack, but that's just my personal opinion, and he knows how I feel about that. Okay? And then we've got the bozo from the insurance company that asked me if I thought that I was capable of making a legal decision since I'm not a lawyer. Okay? Well, I'm not a lawyer, thank God. I'm glad I never pursued that from the ones I've seen around this town. Okay? Now, I've got a couple of good attorneys here that take good care of me, but I tell you what, the blockheads they hire for these the city, Mr. Risley, okay, and for Del Mar College, Mr. Augustin Rivera, I've got great reservations about them. And then it's even in here on the Foghorn. This one came out, this is December 4th. This is the Del Mar College newspaper. It says, headline, front page, DMC faces possible payment. Jury rules school must pay former professor $664,000. Okay? And so there's an article in here. So if that doesn't raise your hackles, I don't know what will, folks. Okay? And I'm sorry if the light's not intense enough. You don't want to see me in the, I don't think I'm in the total dark, but Del Mar College will be thrilled with that. And then next time we meet, I'm going to read this. There's a publication that I obtained out of Austin, Texas, and this is the 2017 Texas Public Higher Education Almanac. Okay, it states here that student characteristics and percent enrollment change from 2011 to 2016 is negative 2.8%. This is Del Mar College. Okay, but we're bursting at the seams. Okay, and then there's some other extremely fine and very interesting statistics in this. So I'm going to read that next time. Meantime, I'm going to go and get ready to put Pinocchio back up here. No, I think what I'll do, seriously, is I will see if I can fix that light, and I'm going to show you those beautiful pink roses for Miss Connie, Miss Lynn, and for April 23. And I'll close the show with that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've got about 45 seconds left here. Please call your region. If you don't know who they are, email me at gsansing@gmail.com, and I'll be glad to put you in touch with them. And then you can either call them. I think the telephone numbers are posted and their email address. So if you're as concerned about it as I am and a lot of other people in Corpus Christi, Texas, then let's wag our finger in Pinocchio's face there along that very long lion nose that I showed you in the beginning. Okay? Again, these are dedicated to Miss Connie, Miss Lynn, and Miss April 23. and I'm going to let it wind down. Good night.